next 12 months are critical for positioning us as businesses to maximise and harness all our traditional tools and platforms, along with these fabulous social media platforms, pull them all together to turbocharge your marketing, give it lots of welly so we can piggyback and leapfrog our competitors and power our businesses to the next level. Just some crystal gazing. Email is going to disappear, not immediately. Under 35s, if we're employing, just think about employees, Generation X, Generation Y. We need to be geared up to get these guys on board with us. There'll be more social media policies formed. As social media starts, more case studies are emerging to bed in. It's a little bit of a HR headache at the moment, isn't it, for employees? Should we get our guys engaged with us? Should we not? All this will start to calm down. To me, it's about the Fantastic Four. It's about conversing, educating, engaging, and informing. It's about being really, really transparent, because if we act as we do here and have values and integrity, niche is the best, you know, small is beautiful. It's about being ourselves, of giving our businesses a personality. Also, it's about our profiling and our expertise, showing and showcasing that to everyone as we go forward. So the joined up approach at the top, as with everything, is the business plan. So whether it's the back of the fag packet, it's hard, isn't it, to predict in this climate 3-year business plans, and we're all SMEs here. However, it's our sales, profitability, etc. And underneath that is our communications plan, where we've got our traditional tools and platforms, and then all our social media, and then underneath that is a crisis plan, because we need to think in these times, what if the worst thing happened to our businesses? We need to be geared up, don't we, to know that we can go and interview our MD, get our MD on YouTube, whether it be, God forbid, a product that needs mending or something that's being fixed, something that's happened with transport, that people are stuck, etc. And we can get all this information out on Twitter, out on LinkedIn, out on our blogs, because whereas where I used to work in the media, we were the key channel to push all this information out. Now we're finding that Twitter is giving us stories 20 minutes earlier than Sky News. First of all, let's listen before we launch in. A lot of businesses are just wading in, you know, with size 14s going, oh, I'll try a bit of Twitter, I'll do a bit of blogging, I'll try this LinkedIn, and then they're thinking, I'm not getting any return on this, and why aren't people engaging with me, and why isn't it helping to drive sales and open doors? So first of all, I would say, let's set up some Google alerts so we know who's saying what about us, our clients, our competitors, and then we get this fabulous intelligence gathering. So we've got a picture from which we can then form our strategy to know who we want to engage with, and different messages it could be for different target audience, in the same way that we do with our traditional communications. Get close to the influencers. Do we recognise any? Well, we recognise local MP Greg Mulholland, David Parkin, for example. He was great at crystal gazing. About 6 years ago, he was at one of our clients' CEO development forums, and he was predicting, forecasting how online would be powerful. So just think, all of us within our businesses, who are our influencers? Because in times of crisis and in positive times when we want them to share our success stories, if they've got thousands of followers on Twitter, how brilliant, they can send us viral all this great news. Or conversely, if we need to get the message out, they can also help to convey that for us. So set up, first of all, there's lots of courses out there, guys, as you know, LinkedIn, Twitter and Facebook. Let's get all that bedded in, let's get our followers going, let's get our testimonials. So in the cliched terms, let's get all our ducks in a row. Right, with the blog, what we would say, you'll hear a phrase bandied around saying, content is king. Well, it's actually not. Great content is king, because there's so much content out there. As we speak, it's hard to keep up with the statistics. There's millions of blogs being created. So what are we going to blog about? It's got to be very, very engaging, hasn't it? With everything, what I would implore you guys is plan it first, because once we've set that blog up, we can't divorce it. And lots of blogs are launched with a bang, and then there's one lonely post sitting there and there's no followers, or there are some professional services, unfortunately, who are doing blogs with 1,000-word articles littered with legal jargon and nobody's responding, nobody's engaging. So really get this in place and let's keep it up. You know, if we've got a team who's doing what, let's get the content plan going. And also guest posts. How fabulous if there's somebody we've been wanting to work with for about 4 years and we see that they are on LinkedIn or one of our social media platforms, let's get them to do a guest post. They'll love it, they'll send it viral, and then everybody wins. And what we would advocate as well, and work with great guys like Ian and Julie and the team as well, with you filming. YouTube has hit 2 billion views a day in May, so the power is absolutely phenomenal. It enables us to show our personalities, to showcase our employees, go and interview our clients. How fabulous is that? Keep all our great testimonials on our website that are written, and then really give it a double whammy with that. So we would say launch with at least one video blog, and if you can, keep that up once a month because it really does pull in so much engagement. If we can be provocative and a bit edgy, then good, more the better, because it's a very, very powerful vehicle. Send your blog post to journalists. Granted, not every blog post you'll be able to send to journalists. However, in our experience over the last 3 years, more journalists will go and explore and get underneath the skin of the business, and they often say to us, and that is a really good idea that you've given me. I was thinking of doing a feature on X. So now you've got a double whammy again, and the journalists are going to validate more and more interviewees from blogs. And then just very quickly, they are going onto LinkedIn as well. So we really need to have everything lined up. Kenton could do these top tips on, you know, leading teams from a recession or what qualities business leaders need. He could have it on his blog post. He could send it out to journalists for top tips. He could then use part of it as a discussion on LinkedIn, you know, an SME LinkedIn group. MDs and CEOs, you know, what do you find most challenging about getting great people to you through a recession? Okay, then in for a tweet. So how many of us are on Twitter here? I know we're all lots of us are following each other. That's brilliant. How fantastic to build up our qualified followers and set up an automated response so that every time we do a blog post, we're tweeting it to our followers. Then use your blog content, as we've said, to drive the LinkedIn discussion. So basically, we're working on a premise that I was taught as a journalist. So we are telling them we've told them, and then we're telling them again. So we're using, a lot of people come, we run a lot of courses and seminars and say, oh, how much time will this take? The thought of it gives me a headache. But it won't if we use and reuse existing material. It can actually save us time and use our platforms really effectively. Then that's where it will work for us. Reshots, who does it monthly or newsletters on a regular basis, yeah? So what you could do, guys, you could then tease your blog content, you know, what's happened, who's commented on it, and then coming up, you've got to be watching out for the blog because we want them to press that RSS feed and sign up, because over the next month, we're going to be talking to X who's going to share what, you know, whatever it may be. At the end of it all, if we want to give this so much Wellian energy, we need to make sure, don't we, that it's coming back commensurately. It's going to reap its rewards. And it's interesting now where we've said measure ROE, because it's now about return on engagement, because communication has just changed so dramatically, whereas we used to be talking about return on investment. So simple, isn't it? And yet so effective.